What is up, people? So, seems like we got an update, more updates on the Scarlet Witch solo series, and something interesting going on around, WandaVision season 2, which interesting to think to put another new season for WandaVision. So, we're gonna check out this man Cosmic Wonder and see what he has dug up some information for us. So, the title of this is Scarlet Witch Future Solo Film Teams Ups and WandaVision Season 2. Now, without further ado, let's see what he has to say.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder, where we talk all things Marvel and MCU. I'm your host, Warren Thompson, and still, right now, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is all anybody can talk about right now. And right off the bat, if you have not seen Doctor Strange 2, we are going to be talking about some spoilers.
If you haven't checked out my review, go check that out. The Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness movie review.
Specifically, what we are going to be talking about is if Wanda is dead or not. Marvel Studios kind of left that up for interpretation at the end of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and of course they did that on purpose. Their whole point was for us to kind of think that she's gone, but also at the same time not really know because they didn't physically show her die. And the writer for Doctor Strange 2, Michael Waldron, came out recently and talked about this in a recent interview, which we're going to break down. And of course talk about the future of the Scarlet Witch. If she returns, will she be good or will she be evil? If she returns, she might be good in her own eyes, but how will the rest of the Avengers and other heroes view her after what just happened in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness? We'll break it all down in this video, and of course if you're new, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. So a lot of the latest news is talking about how the Scarlet Witch most likely isn't done, and even Elizabeth Olsen is talking about the future of Wanda and the Scarlet Witch as well, so we could probably assume that there's a lot more coming from her. But it looks like Marvel wants us to not really know what's going to happen at the time. At least that was their plan for the ending of Multiverse of Madness, where Wundagore Mountain kind of falls on top of Wanda. Remember the good old Marvel rule: if you don't see them physically die, there's always a chance that they could come back. And during an interview with Variety, Michael Waldron was asked if Wanda actually died or not, in which he replied, "I think that's up for interpretation. She made some kind of sacrificial act that destroyed the Darkhold in every universe, which is protecting Wanda in every universe from being seduced by the Darkhold. Whether she's dead or not remains to be seen. I know what it's like to love characters and to not want them to be gone, and to hate when they do bad things, but that's part fun of watching stuff and getting swept up in it." Now here's the deal, if you actually think Wanda's dead, I'm gonna go ahead and say she's not. Typically when Marvel characters die, specifically main MCU Avengers characters, they're pretty clear that they die. Also, the actors and actresses typically talk about what their time was like playing that superhero, how they're going to miss that time, how it was a dream come true, and how they're going to always reflect back on and be super happy about what they did as that character, and how it was just time to move on. This is what happened with Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Chris Evans as Captain America, and notice that the characters who are still around that never really discussed their fate or future of the character have all decided to come back. Mark Ruffalo is back as the Hulk in She-Hulk. Chris Hemsworth, of course, is back as Thor in Thor: Love and Thunder. Basically, when an actor is done being a character, we know. And here's the deal. Elizabeth Olsen has actually been talking about the future of the Scarlet Witch recently.
Yeah, but sometimes when they tell you they're dying,
Kevin Feige
you quite don't believe it. I mean, because listen,
that Doctor Strange
money or anything else, you never say never.
Last place we see Wanda.
I don't buy that bullshit that they say that they're
talking about WandaVision, and they asked Marvel Studios President Kevin Feige if there would be an evolution of Wanda's storyline through other properties. In which he replied, yes to an evolution of storyline, probably and inevitably in many different capacities. And this was an obvious reference to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness because this was a year before it came out. But check this out. He then went on to say, referring again to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, he said, "That's the first place where that story will continue, but there will be other places." So this was almost a full year ago in an interview with Deadline. This is the Marvel Studios president telling us that there's going to be other places where the Scarlet Witch's story is continued. So it looks like not only is the Scarlet Witch not done, but the story for her might have already been planned out. And this actually
I think it was already planned out from the very beginning, even before
season 2. Because something that struck me as
Doctor Strange
about Multiverse of Madness is that there was not much.
Otherwise, we wouldn't see the wallpaper never
even saw him, not even in a flashback. I don't think there were any pictures of him. I think they mentioned his name maybe one time when she said Biz, and they referred to him in other times, but he really was not a part of this movie. It was all about her kids.
Right,
don't forget,
White
Vision is out there somewhere. We have no idea what happened to him. We have no idea what his future story is, but maybe that's where WandaVision 2 comes into place. The first season was a huge success. It would make sense that they would do another one, and Kevin Feige pretty much a year ago was already talking about Wanda's story popping up in other places after Multiverse of Madness, so you never know. Now, in recent interviews, people of course are asking Elizabeth Olsen what's next, and every time she talks about this, she makes no mention that she is done as the character. In fact, she says that she is pretty excited to continue to play the character, and excited to see what stories could come along for her. But it looks like she might have somewhat of an idea of what could be next for the Scarlet Witch. Here's what she had to say in an interview with Fandango. If there's a good idea, I'm happy to play her. I also think her being old will actually be kind of amazing. In the comics, her power kind of deteriorates her and ages her in a way in some of the comics. I do think of that as being kind of amazing.
Yeah,
I kind of imagine myself one day with like prosthetics,
see how she ages
and like
years
go
by
as
and
this,
she gets
like,
old
older
and
wise woman.
see how her
so
power
I do have
is
this kind of this
from that
dream
point on.
of aging her
That'd
quite
be
a bit.
interesting.
I just really think she's ancient in her, like, the myth of the Scarlet Witch is this ancient myth. And so that's something that I kind of adore about a potential future that I'm just kind of throwing out, and I really don't know where it would go. That would be an interesting storyline, but fortunately for us, and maybe unfortunately for Elizabeth Olsen, I think she's going to be returning before then. Especially if you consider the rumors about her signing a deal with Marvel for multiple more projects. This will most likely include her own solo feature, but will also most likely include her teaming up with some other people as well. Now, I don't think that she'll be playing an Avenger anytime soon, because I'm pretty sure Doctor Strange is going to have a part of the Avengers right now. Also, Wong seems to be a pretty prominent member of the MCU right now.
I got a feeling he's going to be in end credit scene of Thor: Love and Thunder.
He might have a little bit of a problem with Wanda being a part of the Avengers. He was just kind of tortured.
I have a feeling Doctor Strange is going to be in the Thor: Love and Thunder
to kill the Darkhold
movie, but in end credits.
So I'm thinking Wong's not okay with her being an Avenger. However, the darker side of the MCU right now is being established, and definitely the mystic side is coming out. We have Moon Knight, we have Blade coming up, and Multiverse of Madness truly had a darker tone to it. Ghost Rider was supposed to appear in Multiverse of Madness, but that scene was cut. And we have the Black Knight coming. So, hopefully the Midnight Suns are being set up, and hopefully Wanda can be a part of the Midnight Suns. Plus, not to mention, at the end of Doctor Strange 2 in the post-credit, Clea was introduced and she says that Doctor Strange caused an incursion. Well, Wanda is a Nexus being, a reality warping being. And it looks like she somehow has managed to communicate across the multiverse as she was able to destroy the Darkhold in every different universe.
Right.
She could always come back to actually help Doctor Strange kind of do damage control on what she caused. Because let's face it, the only reason Doctor Strange had the multiverse jump was
Wanda
because
can
of the
help
Whip,
Doctor
so
Strange.
It is kind of all her fault. So I
Doctor
definitely think
Strange
there's
trying to help
potential
Wanda
for her to
in the
return
multiverse
in Doctor
match.
Strange 3. However, I do think she's
like
going to eventually
favor.
get her own solo movie. Not her and Doctor Strange or her and another character, but her own solo movie. And this could be about the relationship between her and her father at one point in time in the comics, who is Magneto. Once you get the X-Men and mutants rolling into the MCU, this could be an incredible storyline. Magneto finds out how powerful she is, and he wants to go and recruit her for his team. But then, of course, you would have Professor X, who would try to stop Magneto and get her to join him. Kind of similar to X-Men The Final Stand with the Phoenix Force, instead it's the Scarlet Witch. I'm also excited for the fact that we could be getting a WandaVision Season 2. There has been absolutely no confirmation about this whatsoever yet, but the way Kevin Feige talked about her story and continuing after Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness leads me to believe that they do have plans for her, and right now Marvel shows are getting continuations. What if Season 2 is coming and actually Loki Season 2 is about to start filming? It would make sense that Wanda would get a Season 2 of WandaVision. It might not be called WandaVision, but it's very clear
hopefully that Loki, if it's true though, that Season 2 of Loki is coming, I hope it's better than the first one.
It looks like we are eventually going to find out, as it looks like the Scarlet Witch is not done in the MCU, and Elizabeth Olsen will be returning to play her. So, let me know what you would like to see as far as the story is concerned for the Scarlet Witch in the MCU. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest news. For live updates, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And as always, thank you all so much for watching.
Salute to you, Cosmic Wonder. Salute to you, my man. Interesting. The only thing is, I mean, like you said, nothing has confirmed. Meaning we don't really know if it's true that we're gonna have a WandaVision season 2, which I would expect, but I don't know how that would make sense if we're gonna have a Scarlet Witch movie, and chances are it's very possible that Vision, or now maybe White Vision, might be in this movie, unless her solo movie goes back in time from the point where he started, like similar to Black Widow. That's what it seems like to me. It seems like it's gonna be similar to the Black Widow, where like we get the background story of who Natasha Romanoff is and how she started to become a badass and etc. etc. I feel as though we're gonna get that similar trait with Wanda, Scarlet Witch. So, I mean, listen, I wouldn't mind seeing WandaVision season 2. I wouldn't mind seeing the season 2 of WandaVision. I really wouldn't, because that series I love. I love that series, man. Woo! I love it from the episode 1 to episode 10, because like it kept you interesting, because you knew from the very start that something was odd. And as episode kept moving on, you realize like, oh shit, this is like dark and twisted, and story is somewhat sad in a way, and it's like all about witchcrafts and everything. It was just, I loved it. I would tell you the truth, I wouldn't mind seeing, another season 2 of WandaVision. So I wouldn't mind that at all. Obviously, I knew that she was not done, and I knew that, that the Scarlet Witch, I knew she wasn't dead. You know what I mean? Because if you look back, I mean, the good Wanda, she's alive. So, Scarlet Witch, obviously that crushed, but somehow, some way, I think she still has her power back. And it's like Marvel says, I mean, just if it's not on film, if you don't see the character actually die, then it's actually not dead. Like Tony Stark. We saw Tony Stark die, so it's confirmed. Even though I got a strange feeling that Tony Stark is gonna come back. Now that we have this, multiverse going on now, I wouldn't be surprised if Tony Stark do come back from a different universe. You know what I mean? And I mean, obviously, Cap, no question. There's no question that he can come back, because he's alive. And I said it before, he can just go back in time and then come back being himself in the present as the super soldier once again. So, yeah. So as far as like Wanda teaming up, I could kind of see her, teaming up in some sort of maybe an Avenger movie or some shit like that, So, yeah, I knew that if she wasn't, I knew that character is not over, especially we haven't got a solo movie out of her. So, I'll be looking forward to the Scarlet Witch movie. I'll be looking for it, as long as it's good and the story is good, and and nothing crazy in the movie. And I think you guys know what I mean. But yeah, man, let me know what you guys think on the comments below. Let me know what you guys think, of this whole WandaVision season 2, and let me know what you guys think of the Scarlet Witch movie. What do you think the story is gonna be about? Put that on the comment below. And if you enjoy my reaction to this news, you can go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, and share, and make sure you got click on the notification bell so that way you guys can get more upcoming videos in the near future. And if there's any videos you guys want me to do a reaction or do a challenge, you can always just leave it on the comment section down below. And if you have any questions for me, you can either leave it on the comment section as well, or you can email me at greatenzo97@gmail.com. Alright guys, well, until next time, peace out.